Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. You're watching Mysterious Ways Forward. Which, it just occurs to me that it's the first time that I've ever said that out loud. Which is probably why I had to say it like Pigs in Space. Or something. I'm not entirely sure. I am at school. I say that I'm here doing grading, but what I'm really doing is I'm on Tumblr, I think, and I will be doing grading, and I'm doing some setup stuff for tomorrow. We have our open house, so I get to potentially meet some of the parents of my students, which is pretty exciting. Today was a really strange day at work. I work with kids who have some pretty significant emotional disorders and some behavior issues, and so sometimes things happen, like fights and chokeholds and, arguments and kids just laying on the floor because they don't want to do classwork. And these are high school kids. So, it's a challenge. But today had a lot of fireworks. I felt like there were some really good parts and some really not so good parts, but for the most part, I'm alive. I'm in a pretty good mood tonight because I don't actually have class tonight because it's Wednesday. And I don't even have class tomorrow night because of open house. I should be in class, but I told my professor last week that I can't go to class because I gotta be at open house. Hopefully you're sensing a theme here, picking up on it, because that's the theme. The theme of this week so far is Tara doesn't want to be at work. And it's mostly just because adjustment periods are hard. We got our new principal on Monday, and getting to know him and getting to know his management style is a challenge. It's difficult because since I've worked in this particular department of the school that I've worked at, I've had 4 different supervisors now. 4 supervisors in, technically, this is the 5th semester? Wow. 4 supervisors in 5 semesters. When you look at it that way, it's bizarre, because last year I had 2 different bosses. This year I have a different boss than I had last year, and then for the first year I worked up here, I had the same supervisor 2 semesters in a row. So that's 3 different supervisors in 3 semesters if you want it to, to be even more convoluted. But it's really difficult to know how to not conduct yourself, because yourself is pretty much the only thing that you have any control over. And that's something that we have to teach our kids all the time. Like, I'm an English teacher, but I also teach behaviors and social skills and stuff like that, and problem-solving skills to kids who don't have those things. So I do an immense amount of collaboration and a lot of discussion and a lot of interventions and a lot of stuff like that, where it's like, no, you shouldn't beat up so and so, because if you do, you'll go to jail, and if you go to jail, then you won't be able to be at school to get your education, and if you don't get your education, how successful will you be? So it's kind of things like that, and we have to do a lot of that stuff. I estimate how much time I actually get to spend in the classroom when I'm not somewhere else putting out fires, figurative fires, obviously, not literal ones. Firefighter teacher. I probably spend about 60 to 70% of my time actually in the classroom, but a lot, like 30 to 40% of that time is spent trying to work with a student individually, or trying to communicate with another staff member about the things that I need and the kids that I'm working with, and how to serve them best and to take care of them as well as help them take care of themselves. So that's pretty nuts. I'm really glad that you guys kind of mentioned the whole idea about growing out of stuff, because it's one thing that, it seems natural, and it happens really naturally, because you just, it's not like you just one day you wake up and you decide, I'm not going to like this TV show anymore. I'm over it, you know. Usually you have a falling out with it. Usually priorities. It's kind of like what Sarah said, you know, priorities take over. You find things in your life that you make more important, and that's okay. It's a changing thing. I think the hardest part sometimes, and maybe Tally, you can talk about this a little bit, is that sometimes the people that you knew who shared those common interests with you have a really hard time understanding or continuing on something that they're still interested in without you. You know, that's the thing I think that makes anything hard, is deciding to give something up or deciding that you don't really want to do that anymore. And then are you going to lose the friends that you had when you'd like to do that? Or, you know, is it bad, or do you just have other people that you do stuff with instead? It's, you know, it's interesting. It's something to think about. I definitely I have a bigger, more significant social life now than I've ever had in my life, and I think it's come from being in one place for now 6 years. Living in Albuquerque is the thing. I've lived here for 6 years now, which is nuts, absolutely crazy, and yeah, so. But you have to establish yourself before you can really, and like you don't really think about, oh man, it takes 6 years to have a good amount of friends and good social life and have things really good going for you. Well, maybe it does. Sorry, this is like 7 minutes, but I just kind of got carried away. So I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.